Hello and welcome, mourners, to the Dirge of Mourning. I am your host, Andrew, alongside Terry. Today we'll be looking at Brethren of Sadness with their album Eulogy Beneath Eternal Shadows, released in 2025. This album is a raw take on atmospheric funeral doom. And as some of you guys may have noticed, it is yet again a John Suffering offering, I guess we shall call
A
it.
John Suffering offering.
Yes, a little bit of rhyming there. Some of you guys will remember that we did the whole Summer of Suffering in August there. This is, well, Winter of Suffering? Well, needless to say...
Suffering just continues.
Yes, it does actually. An atmospheric intro as the band comes in with their dark, heavy funeral doom. The death wailing at the beginning is a part of the funeral doom repertoire that most bands don't seem to utilise all that much. I've noticed that, and it's nice to see it here. The death growls come in at about the 1 minute and 51 second mark. With the raw-like quality to this album, you can hear it straight away, especially with the high-pitched guitar tone, which needed to come down just a little bit. It's a little too ringing in the ears. But again, that also lends it to that raw, like, unpolished sound. Like, there's no actual producer type concept there. It just is whatever you get. So
yes, I did notice not only this song, but the album, a lot of the songs do have that raw sound.
Right, it's just an unpolished quality that just sort of emphasizes, like, you know, the very bare bones of how to make an album. Then at 4 minutes and 28 seconds, the softer tones of the guitar are played, alongside some bass notes, I believe. The sound, of course, starts to build back up, the death growls return, and so do the funeral doom stylings that we all like. You know, they go back and forth to the heavy and soft, heavy and soft.
Yeah.
The vocals are exactly what, you know, it says on the 10 with John Suffering. It's that very deep, low, very painful sounding vocals, which again are a great fit here. Really great fit for this. The extreme wailing sounds are also brought back there a little bit here and there. The song fades at 8 minutes and 24 seconds. Overall, not a bad start to a raw funeral doom album, considering I've heard worse.
You've heard worse. Well, I actually liked it. It was different for me. I guess I am used to more of the polished sound, but I kind of liked.
Yeah, there is a distinction here between like this album and like the previous stuff that he's done.
Yeah, there is.
Guitar intro with some light atmospheric parts to it. There's a dark quality to this track as the death growls come in at 1 minute and 17 seconds. The heavy funeral doom plays until 2 minutes and 10 seconds, where the synthesizer comes in and plays in such a way that I can only describe as raw pain and raw despair. But it sounds so sad and melancholy at the same time. It was like an interesting mix of, oh, that's a lovely sound, but damn.
Well, with this one, I do have to say something about the music. The music is too loud over the voice. Like, I can't make out the voice. I can't make out the words or the voice. It's much louder than the words.
Well, see, that's the thing with the raw stylings of this sort of like subgenre of funeral doom. The mixing is never 100% perfect, unfortunately, and this is a problem that you'll find across the board with a lot of raw funeral doom. Sometimes the vocals are, like in this case, way too much.
Yeah, way too. The lyrics are just lost. I mean, I really was trying to pay attention, and I can read them, but I can't hear them.
It was difficult to follow them. I will say that it was.
Yeah, this one really was. It can't make out the words.
But again, I can show you other examples of where you won't be able to understand a damn thing, even like whether or not the guy's actually singing. And that is a huge problem with the raw stylings of this particular style of funeral doom. But I think a necessary step So with like all the different tonal shifts with like the synthesizers and stuff, at the end of the track, we get like, the void of misery being played. There's a great sense of like grief in a raw form. The track comes to an end as the guitar fades at 7 minutes and 37 seconds. A very almost rough around the edges track, which is what you should expect from something that has that raw label to it. So if you are gonna like check out this particular song, be familiar with how raw Funeral Doom is kind of constructed. Funeral bells. Funeral bells.
Yeah, I really liked that. I underlined it 3 times. That part I liked.
This is what I'm talking about. This is how you can elevate your Funeral Doom. Very simply and effectively. The band slowly comes in, as, that funeral bell sound is being played. The death growls, that very raw sound. You can really tell that the guys involved here are trying their best to express certain emotions. This is pure despair and sorrow. This track is... The best way I can describe this track is if you go and take a walk in an abandoned cemetery at night.
This one I really did like. Certain concepts about this one, yes.
At about the 6 minute and 38 second point, we get the dark, deep spoken word, which was a nice touch.
I even read that part to you.
That lasts up until about 7 minutes and 4 seconds. The track ends with more of that suffering sound of Funeral Doom until about 7 minutes and 45 seconds. This was a track that you can see and hear progression. Like their sound is getting a little bit better here.
Yeah.
A backdrop of sorrow and Funeral Doom is the intro until the death growls come in at about the 1 minute and 35 second mark. At about the 2 minute and 4 second mark, we get the synthesizers. They truly shine at this point. There's a haunting sound to it as the death growls and Funeral Doom mixes in between it. This one is a little bit more cleaner as well in terms of its sound. It's not as harsh as we started. It's as if the album is progressing, like from a raw nerve being cut open to it slowly healing in a weird way. But you're still left with that weird scar.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice progression then, isn't it?
So again, we're getting this like slowly like progressing to a much cleaner sound, but not super clean. It's not heavily produced yet. I would say that this track is also a standout. At about 4 minutes and 21 seconds until the ending of the song, at 7 minutes and 4 seconds, we just have that slow, methodical Funeral Doom sound coming to an end for this one. A standout track for this. It's a little bit cleaner, a little bit more what you would expect from more of an atmospheric Funeral Doom band. Overall, pretty cool song. Just like the last song, this starts with a good mix of atmosphere and Funeral Doom and the death growls. They are much lower and deeper this time around though.
I couldn't make them out once again.
But one of the unique features though that I think helps with that is that there seems to be like a female backing chorus going on. This might actually be my favourite concept for this album, having that female presence. This album has that raw yet clean sound. Again, it's like that slow progression, but it's still reminding you of how raw it feels on this track. Not many bands can pull off this kind of like unique approach to the more raw side of Funeral Doom. Just in a short time, we have seen this band go from extremely like raw, hard to make out vocals and sounds to slowly becoming a little bit more cleaner in certain areas. And this track also does similar concepts. It kind of like bookends all of it, I think. Oh, and have I mentioned that, we get a more deeper sound again of the spoken word as the track comes to an end at 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, which I do like the spoken word that's used in the album.
It is utilized pretty well here.
Yeah, because it's not like, now I am doing spoken word. It's like part of the song.
overall thoughts on just the musical side of things before we get into the lyrics?
Well, I like the music. Another thing, the use of guitar is really, I think, good and interesting. I like the raw concept of the guitar. But the only part I have trouble with, because I'm in charge of looking at the lyrics, is that on some of the songs, I couldn't hear them or make them out.
Yeah, even for someone who, sits and listens to this all day, it is hard to sometimes make out what some vocalists say when it comes to this raw approach.
So sometimes I have to turn my volume way up to catch what phrase, and then I can catch back up. But all in all, I mean, it's solid music.
When it comes to an album like this, we have the high end of raw funeral doom and the low end of atmospheric funeral doom. This album is a nice little in-between. So if you're wanting to approach either side of that spectrum, I think this album is a great starting point.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
The only thing I would say overall when it comes to the music is that guitar tone in that first song just needs to be fixed a little, because when it hits those high notes, it is a bit ear-piercing.
It is loud, but you know what? I actually kind of liked it because it had a nice, sort of melodic thing to it. Added something for me to the song.
No, it does add to it. It's just that, like you said, when you've got it up full volume and that comes out of nowhere, you're not expecting it. It's kind of jarring.
Right,
but I will say this for it though. Again, it does kind of have that sort of raw, open, nerve feeling to it.
Right, which I think is what...
I think that is the overall point for that music, yeah.
Right.
So overall, music, really good there.
Eulogy Beneath Eternal Shadows. So you already mentioned all about the atmospheric, heavy, slow sound, guitar, death growl beginning when the lyrics begin, etc. Now, the thing about this song is I think it is the theme overall, which does not come right at the beginning, but it is a song about how we simply all do die and accept it. Eventually we accept it. So this is what I'm getting from this song. However, there's a lot of sadness to it. Some of the words in the lyrics that are interesting. With these words, you will get the idea of what feeling there is. Shadows creep, whispers, secrets, despair, veil of sorrow. Here's something else that I really enjoyed about it, having to do with the fact that we all die and accept it. As we drift into darkness, time cannot erase. It's about time marching on. This is what's going to happen. You are going to pass away.
There's a sense of almost a healing approach to this lyrics. I have to accept reality here.
There's some very nice metaphors in here and comparisons throughout the song. The lyrics are fine. I mean, their lyrics are good. So one of them that I liked was coffins of yearning. That was
good. I did write that phrase down as well. I thought that was a really nice phrase.
So I just picture these yearning coffins. That was nice. And that is basically it. Just a nice little song about how we must all die.
Very cheerful stuff, eh?
Yes.
Especially on a rainy day.
Echoes of the Departed. Now, the idea of this one. I really liked the lyrics, believe it or not, even though I couldn't make them out with in the music. The death growl was just so low. Sometimes I think that people's voices, because I do, as a woman, I have a deeper voice. I've noticed that if you have a low voice, sometimes your words are not caught by everyone. If you talk in a high little voice, it's much more, your ear grabs it. But sometimes I do think the low sound of the death growl just becomes lost. And this might be what's going on here. But anyways.
No, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that assessment. That is it gets lost in the mix.
There's a tonal difference.
I get the creation of an atmosphere and all that stuff with the vocal tones, but it is just nice to be able to go, oh yeah, I can hear exactly what's going on with that atmosphere.
At least make out most of it, or it sounds so you have an idea. But anyways, the lyrics in this song, I believe, are about losing someone and feeling grief. We have that they're kind of still wanting them. They are hearing them. They are thinking about the old memories. It's just a concise song about that sort of feeling, like they're still around.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
that idea of...
there we have the title, Echoes of the Departed. The echoes are still there. They're still right there in your face.
It's because when we do lose someone, we still have that feeling of, oh, they're just around the corner. I could go, oh, they're not.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
You can no longer pick up the phone and go, hi, oh, they're not there.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how as time progresses, that kind of dissipates.
It does, but it's a hard thing to come to terms with at first.
And sometimes it still happens. Like even later on, you'll think, maybe I'll just, ask my mom about that recipe. Oh, wait, mom's not.
Exactly. I've had moments like that myself where I'm just like, oh, I need to go and say such and such. Oh,
yeah.
Right. That's a thing that can't happen. Yeah, it's a good song for, like, getting across that emotion, I think. And
I do too. Because we all have, most people have experienced that.
Oh, absolutely. A fantastic piece of writing right here to express that raw emotion.
Desolate Abyss. Okay, so this one, I always think of John Suffering's songs always contain a lot of wandering. And once again, we have wandering. Wandering, there is no hope. This is a song of no hope. So we go from the other one of basic feelings of grief to now that sort of hopeless feeling. There is, once again, darkness, silence, pain. This is about wanting to end the pain, wanting the pain to stop. And it is also about, I think this is probably the most important thing, about how loss can change a good life to one of sorrow. That's really sad. That's really a sad concept.
Well, see, this is the thing. You can go through your entire life, having your friends and family be around you, and then all of a sudden it just takes for one of them, especially a close one, to die of whatever circumstance. And all the things that you are looking forward to become like a chore almost. Like you don't want to exist in a world where they're no longer here. We see this within the stages of grief. This is, again, what I think this album kind of is talking about, the 5 stages of grief. And this is the part where, hopelessness is a part of that, where you no longer want to be here. You want to escape to a world where they are there.
What else I would like to point out about this song is that these are very nice, very concise lyrics. In other words, the lyrics are set up correctly with the phrasing, and then this use of the chorus of the lyrics. It's like if you read it, you might not get it from the song, but if you read it, you will see what I mean.
Oh, I agree with that 100%, yeah.
It's very well thought out and placed out.
Oh, yeah, and one of the other...
Basically as a poem,
Right, and one of the other things I did like about this is there is no word wasted here.
No, and once again, at the very end, with that deep spoken word, I really liked it.
That was very powerful, I thought, to have it, done exactly like that, because it gets across that raw emotional feeling again that for some reason John Suffering seems to be really good at just capturing that rough, raw feeling. Like he just puts it down on paper and goes, that's it, I don't need to say any more about it. End of story.
Well, it was well written. Crushed by Shadows. What I noticed about this song, very nice creepy beginning, very nice, and very nice rhyming lyrics. We don't always see this in Funeral Doom. I enjoyed that because when I write poetry, I rhyme, but I really liked this in this song. You just don't see it all the time. And it had a rather melodic sound to the whole concept here. What I felt that this song was about, open for interpretation, of course, but grasping at the remnants of a love that did fall. So
yes, I got that sense as well. When you kind of read the lyrics, you get the feeling that this is like, how would Funeral Doom tackle heartache in that sense?
Right. A deep love.
Yes,
You
it's
know?
almost like as if that person has died.
Right.
And we're talking about them in like that sense. And I think that that's very well like put across when it comes to the lyrical format here. It's a very interesting approach to how a sort of breakup song can turn into a like dark,
Well,
like funeral doom
yeah.
sound.
Could also mean, that a loved one, that whether spouse or, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, did die, that this would be the way you would feel.
Exactly. There is that like blurred line, and I think that is how you would approach a song like this or lyrics like this. Very well written, I would say.
Yes, I enjoyed the rhyming.
Very much so.
Eternal Lament. I thought that the raw guitar melody sounded like a lament.
Oh, it absolutely did. It absolutely did.
It gave the feeling of the beginnings.
Oh, absolutely.
It sets you up for what's going to happen. Then the death growl, the heavy death growl, suits the sadness of this song. So to me, this was a good melding between the way that it sounds and meaning.
Right, because without
easy to do.
Without those kind of sounds, you don't get the true context of what the words are saying, right?
Well, the flip side of that coin is you cannot make the words out again. But
I think there's a balance here.
I'm looking at the lyrics when I'm listening to
Right, but I think there's a balance with this.
Yeah, this definitely. Okay, so I really liked this. I really loved this phrase. I started here. A heart torn asunder. I love that word, asunder. So a heart torn asunder that this heart wants solace and peace, wants once again the pain to end. But in this desolate realm where hope has died, that it's bleak. The final lines do sum up the ending of this album, the ending of this, in this desolate realm where hope has died. So
this is that, again, it is that almost like 5 stages of grief type concept where we are going back and forth between these emotions constantly.
Right. So, I mean, it's sad to end on this. And when you think of the title, Eternal Lament, Eternity, Forever, and the title of the album also mentions eternity. It's a long process.
It is, and it does feel like that when you are going through these stages. You can feel like it just never ends.
Never gonna end, right?
Album art. Thank fuck I don't have to talk about AI, so I could skip that fucking spiel. What we have here is a sort of sepia-toned, yellowy, like faded color with a church tower and a blossoming tree that is kind of in color.
Yeah, got a little redness to it, or
a sort of pinkish color to it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it. I really like this style of artwork.
I do too.
This looks really nice. I mean, it's simple, but kind of gets the point across. And I mean,
it's effective.
It's pretty. I like it. It's pretty.
Now, for the viewers watching this, you may have noticed that the album art uses a different logo for the band compared to the one I've been using, simply due to the fact that the original art had the style of logo that I've been using. The style that I've been using is actually written as the album title. So they just kind of swapped around the concept, basically. Overall, the sort of raw, old effect on the photo here gets across that it's a very, raw-sounding album. I think that fits it very well.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that, but yeah, that's true.
So for me, I think the artwork here is going to come in at a solid 9.9 out of 10.
I think that makes sense. I do. I really do like this style.
Album score.
I mean, for me, I'm just going to spit it out there and say what I feel in my gut. 9.
Okay. A 9. I'm thinking more a 9.9.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm the one that always goes through all the lyrics and trying to hear everything. The only reason that I would say that is because I had so much trouble hearing them.
Keep in mind, I'm not only like looking at the lyrics, the way it sounds,
Yeah.
the art. So
Yeah,
with all that in mind,
Right.
that's how I come up with a 9.9. So let's settle maybe then on a solid 9.8.
Go ahead. Since we're not only doing one section, we're doing all of it. I did like the artwork. I did like the music. Oh, we'll go with yours, 9.8.
Okay. A solid 9.8 out of 10. Final thoughts.
Oh, I've already said my final thoughts before.
Well, I'm basically going to put it down to this. Again, an interesting concept here for a band like this. A band that slowly evolves throughout the album. A nice mix of that raw and atmospheric sound. It's going to be interesting to see what this band does next. Don't forget to check out their mournful offerings. Links in the description. Until next time, mourners, remember, every day is a funeral.